I think it's a huge risk to publicly disavow the never complain, never explain mantra, which has served the Queen so well for decades.
I get really cross about this. You know, Britain didn't invent slavery. There's no single living Briton alive today that has connections to the slave trade. We are not responsible for the crimes of dead slavers, and yet we go rushing to apologise for something that the rest of the world did. Anyone with an ounce of compassion in their body knows that slavery was vile and abhorrent and wrong, and as a society we've learned from it. But, you know, we can't keep on self-flagellating over it. And why are we apologising when we have got nothing to apologise for? But the point I really want to make here is, but William has created a row that never needed to happen. No,
you know, because of a few idiots on Twitter.
This is his petulance, I think, as well. You know, we thought he'd change and become like a bit of a grown-up, but he hasn't. And the thing is, you know, it never needed to happen. Have we forgotten that tomorrow is Prince Philip's memorial? It could well be the last public outing that the Queen does. He has created this row. But do you know what I'm saying? We all know her health is very frail.
Yeah, I know.
He has now overshadowed what may be her last public appearance with this row that never needed to happen. Could he not just have... He didn't have to say anything. He could have kept his mouth shut. He could have just thought of his gran just for once instead of going on and responding to criticism of him. Get used to it, mate, because it's going to happen to you all your life. But he caved under this.
There was no... They can never apologise enough.
They can't. But can I also just say... Let me make my last point. The suggestion in all of these stories is that the Crown is clinging to power in the Caribbean and that this, you know, that all these people are rising up and fighting against colonialism. It's simply not true, especially in Jamaica. Jamaica chose to retain the Queen as head of state. We know the Prime Minister of Jamaica is a Republican. He actually said, you know, he used their visit to grandstand. We know that. Jamaica, they're terrified to hold a referendum in Jamaica about the monarchy because the politicians
and there was no referendum in Barbados, by the way.
No, there wasn't.
No referendum in Barbados. It was just the politicians who chose.
Now, and they know the people will win.